It was just another Friday night for Marcus Reed, a 28-year-old assembly line worker at Tesla's Gigafactory in Nevada. He sat alone in his small apartment, staring at the eviction notice taped to his fridge. The clock ticked past midnight, and the weight of his problems felt heavier than ever. Marcus had always been proud of his job at Tesla. It wasn't just about the paycheck, it was about being part of something bigger, something that could change the world. But lately, things hadn't gone as planned. His car broke down last month, forcing him to take public transportation every day. Then came the medical bills after his mom fell ill. And now, with rent overdue for 2 months, he didn't know where to turn. As he slumped onto his couch, his phone buzzed on the coffee table. A text message flashed across the screen. "Call me when you can." The number looked unfamiliar, but there was something oddly familiar about it too. Curious, Marcus dialed the number without thinking twice. "Hello?" he answered hesitantly. There was a brief pause before a calm voice replied. "Marcus, this is Elon." For a moment, Marcus thought it was some kind of prank. Elon Musk, the billionaire CEO of Tesla, calling him directly? It seemed impossible, but the voice on the other end was unmistakable. "I heard you're having a tough time," Elon continued. "Tell me what's going on." And just like that, Marcus found himself pouring out everything: the late-night shifts, the mounting bills, the fear of losing the only home he'd known since moving to Nevada. By the time he finished speaking, tears were streaming down his face. But then, Elon said something that would change Marcus's life forever. "Don't worry, Marcus. We'll figure this out together." Little did Marcus know, this call was only the beginning of a story that would leave millions around the world in awe. What happens next will shock you and bring tears to your eyes. Keep watching to find out how one simple act of kindness transforms not just Marcus's life, but also the lives of countless others. Marcus Reed wasn't your typical Tesla employee. Sure, he worked long hours assembling electric cars alongside hundreds of others. But his story was different. He grew up in a tiny town in Ohio, where opportunities were scarce and dreams often felt out of reach. When he landed the job at Tesla, it felt like fate had finally smiled upon him. For the first time in his life, Marcus believed he could make a real difference, not just for himself, but for the planet. The Gigafactory in Sparks, Nevada, was a marvel to behold. Stretching across millions of square feet, it buzzed with activity day and night. Workers in bright blue uniforms moved swiftly between machines, each one contributing to the production of cutting-edge technology. To Marcus, the factory wasn't just a workplace, it was a symbol of hope. Every car that rolled off the assembly line represented progress, innovation, and a brighter future. But outside those towering walls, reality wasn't so glamorous. Marcus lived paycheck to paycheck in a modest apartment complex on the outskirts of Reno. The rent was affordable compared to other places, but when unexpected expenses piled up, even that became a struggle. His neighbors barely knew him. Most kept to themselves, lost in their own battles. Life outside the factory felt lonely, almost unbearable at times. Still, Marcus held on to his optimism. He reminded himself daily why he chose this path. "I'm building something bigger than myself," he would say aloud whenever doubt crept in. That mantra carried him through countless tough days, reminding him of the purpose behind his hard work. What Marcus didn't realize was that someone far above him in the company hierarchy, a man who rarely interacted with rank-and-file employees, was paying close attention to his situation. And soon, Marcus's world would tilt in ways he never imagined possible. The following Monday, Marcus arrived at the Gigafactory earlier than usual. He needed the extra time to clear his mind before starting another grueling shift. As he clocked in and made his way to the assembly line, a colleague approached him with an envelope in hand. "Hey Marcus," the coworker said, handing it over. "This was waiting for you at the front desk." Confused, Marcus examined the plain white envelope. There was no return address, only his name scrawled neatly across the front. Curiosity got the better of him, and he opened it right there in the hallway. Inside was a single sheet of paper with a brief message typed out, "Meet me in conference room 7B after your shift today." Below the note was a signature, Elon Musk. Marcus froze. His heart raced as he read the words again and again, trying to process what they meant. Elon Musk wanted to meet him. Why? What could possibly be so important that the CEO of Tesla would request a private meeting with someone like him, a regular guy on the assembly line? By the time his shift ended, Marcus's nerves were shot. He debated skipping the meeting altogether, thinking it might be some kind of elaborate prank or mistake. But deep down he knew he couldn't ignore it. Against all logic, he found himself walking toward conference room 7B, his hands trembling as he pushed open the door. To his astonishment, Elon Musk was sitting inside, dressed casually in jeans and a black t-shirt. The billionaire looked up from his laptop and smiled warmly. "Thanks for coming, Marcus," Elon said, gesturing for him to sit down. "I know this is unexpected, but I wanted to talk to you about something important." Before Marcus could respond, Elon launched into an explanation. Over the past few weeks, management had noticed how dedicated Marcus was to his work. They admired his commitment despite the challenges he faced outside the factory. And then, someone mentioned the eviction notice Marcus had accidentally left on his desk during a particularly stressful week. "I don't want anyone working here worrying about losing their home," Elon continued. "That's why I've decided to help you out." At first, Marcus didn't believe his ears. Help him out? How exactly? Before he could ask, Elon reached into his pocket and pulled out a check. "This should cover your rent and give you a little breathing room," Elon said, sliding the check across the table. The amount written on it was staggering, $50,000. Tears welled up in Marcus's eyes as he stared at the check, unable to speak. This wasn't just money, it was a lifeline, a chance to start fresh. For the first time in months, maybe even years, Marcus felt a glimmer of hope. But the story doesn't end there. In fact, this moment marked the beginning of something much bigger. Let's keep going to uncover the twists and turns ahead. Marcus's initial reaction to the check was overwhelming. He sat there in silence, staring at the piece of paper that represented more money than he'd ever seen in one place. Tears streamed down his face as he struggled to find words. Finally, he managed to choke out a thank you, his voice trembling with emotion. Elon nodded, understanding the weight of the moment. "You've earned it, Marcus," he said simply. "Now let's make sure this doesn't happen again." But as it turned out, accepting such a generous gift wasn't as straightforward as it seemed. Word spread quickly through the factory about the meeting between Marcus and Elon. By the next day, whispers filled the break room and hallways. Some coworkers congratulated Marcus, genuinely happy for him. Others weren't so kind. "You must have done something special to get that kind of attention," one coworker muttered under their breath during lunch. Another chimed in, "Maybe he knows someone higher up. That's the only way you'd get that kind of favor." The jealousy and suspicion stung, but Marcus tried to brush it off. He reminded himself why he worked so hard every day, not for recognition, but for the satisfaction of contributing to something meaningful. Still, the rumors persisted, creating tension on the assembly line. Some employees even began treating him differently, as if they were wary of what secrets he might be hiding. Meanwhile, Marcus faced new challenges outside the factory. With the sudden influx of cash, he felt pressured to make smart decisions. Paying off his overdue rent was easy enough, but managing the rest proved tricky. Friends and family members started reaching out, some offering advice, others asking for loans or gifts. Marcus wanted to help, but he also knew he needed to prioritize his future stability. To complicate matters further, local news outlets caught wind of the story. Reporters camped outside the Gigafactory, hoping to catch a glimpse of Marcus or interview him about the unexpected windfall. At first, Marcus ignored them, focusing instead on keeping his head down and doing his job. But the constant attention became exhausting, and soon, it started affecting his performance at work. One afternoon, as Marcus finished tightening bolts on a Model Y chassis, his supervisor pulled him aside. "We've noticed your productivity has dropped lately. the supervisor said gently. Is everything okay? Marcus hesitated, unsure how much to reveal. In the end, he decided honesty was the best policy. It's just all this attention. I didn't ask for it, but it's hard to ignore. His supervisor listened sympathetically and promised to look into ways to shield Marcus from the media circus. But deep down, Marcus knew things wouldn't go back to normal anytime soon. The world had changed for him, whether he liked it or not. And yet, amidst the chaos, a spark of inspiration ignited within Marcus. If Elon Musk could see potential in him, a regular guy struggling to make ends meet, then maybe Marcus could pay it forward. Maybe he could use this opportunity to help others facing similar struggles. Little did he know, this idea would lead to an even greater challenge, and an outcome that would leave everyone speechless. As the days passed, Marcus began to reflect on the incredible turn his life had taken. The $50,000 check wasn't just money, it was a symbol of trust and belief in him. Elon Musk, one of the most successful people in the world, had seen something in Marcus that he hadn't seen in himself: resilience, determination, and potential. But with this newfound opportunity came responsibility. Marcus realized that he couldn't let this gift go to waste. He owed it not only to Elon, but also to himself and his family to make the most of this second chance. And so, he started making plans, not just for himself, but for others who were struggling like he once was. One evening, after another long shift at the factory, Marcus sat down at his kitchen table with a cup of coffee and a notebook. He jotted down ideas, brainstorming ways to use the remaining funds from the check. At first, the list was simple: pay off debts, save for emergencies, maybe even splurge on a small treat for his mom. But as he thought more deeply, his vision expanded. What if he could help other Tesla employees facing similar financial struggles? What if he could create a support system within the community, where no one had to face eviction or hardship alone? The idea grew in his mind, fueled by a mix of gratitude and ambition. Marcus reached out to a few trusted co-workers, sharing his thoughts cautiously. To his surprise, they embraced the idea wholeheartedly. Together, they formed a small committee dedicated to helping their fellow workers navigate tough times. They called it the Tesla Worker Support Fund, a name that reflected both its purpose and its roots. The fund started small, pooling contributions from those who could afford to give. Marcus donated a significant portion of the money Elon had given him, ensuring the initiative got off the ground. Within weeks, the fund provided emergency assistance to several employees, covering rent payments, utility bills, and medical expenses. For many, it was a lifeline during some of their darkest moments. But the emotional weight of these efforts hit Marcus hard. One afternoon, while processing applications for the fund, he came across a request from a single mother working nights in the battery production department. She explained how she'd fallen behind on childcare payments and feared losing custody of her young daughter. Reading her story brought back memories of his own struggles, and tears pricked at the corners of his eyes. "I've been there," Marcus whispered to himself. "I know what it's like to feel trapped, like there's no way out." Determined to make a difference, Marcus worked tirelessly to ensure the fund reached as many people as possible. He coordinated with local charities, negotiated discounts with landlords, and even organized fundraising events outside the factory gates. Slowly but surely, the program gained momentum, earning respect and admiration from colleagues across the company. Yet, despite the success, Marcus still wrestled with doubts. Was he doing enough? Could he truly make a lasting impact? These questions haunted him late into the night, driving him to push harder and aim higher. It was during one of these sleepless nights that Marcus experienced a breakthrough. While scrolling through old emails, he stumbled upon a message from Elon sent shortly after their initial meeting. In it, Elon wrote, "Marcus, never forget that true strength lies not in what you achieve alone, but in how you lift others up along the way." Those words struck a chord deep within him. They reminded him why he'd started this journey: to honor the faith someone else had placed in him. From that moment on, Marcus committed himself fully to the mission, letting go of self-doubt and embracing the power of community. And as the support fund continued to grow, Marcus discovered something unexpected: joy. Helping others, gave him a sense of fulfillment he'd never known before. It wasn't about recognition or reward, it was about knowing that together, they were creating a brighter future for everyone involved. This realization set the stage for an even bigger revelation, one that would change everything. The Tesla Worker Support Fund had become a beacon of hope within the factory, touching the lives of countless employees. But Marcus knew that their efforts were still limited in scope. They were helping individuals, yes, but what about the broader community? What about the families and friends of Tesla workers, who also struggled to make ends meet? One day, while attending a town hall meeting at the Gigafactory, Marcus listened intently as Elon Musk addressed the crowd. The CEO spoke passionately about the company's mission to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. He emphasized the importance of not just building great products, but fostering a culture of care and support among employees. Inspired by Elon's words, Marcus approached him after the meeting. "Mr. Musk," he began nervously, "I've been thinking about expanding the support fund beyond our immediate team. What if we could turn it into something bigger? A foundation that helps not just Tesla workers, but entire communities." Elon paused for a moment, clearly intrigued. "Tell me more," he said. Marcus explained his vision: a non-profit organization funded by donations from Tesla employees, executives, and even external supporters. The foundation would focus on addressing financial instability, providing resources like affordable housing, educational programs, and job training for people in need. It wouldn't just be about handing out money, it would be about empowering individuals to break free from cycles of poverty. To Marcus's surprise, Elon loved the idea. "This aligns perfectly with our values," he said. "Let's make it happen." With Elon's backing, Marcus threw himself into the project with renewed vigor. Over the next few months, he worked tirelessly alongside a team of volunteers to establish the foundation. They named it the Tesla Community Empowerment Initiative, TCEI. The launch event drew hundreds of attendees, including local leaders, Tesla employees, and members of the surrounding community. As Marcus stood on stage during the event, he felt a mix of pride and humility. This was no longer just his dream, it belonged to everyone who believed in its mission. He shared stories of the people the initiative had already helped, bringing tears to many eyes in the audience. But the biggest surprise came when Elon took the microphone. "Today marks the beginning of something extraordinary," he announced. Then, with a smile, he revealed an additional donation from Tesla itself, $1 million to kickstart the foundation's operations. The room erupted in applause, and Marcus felt his heart swell with gratitude. This wasn't just about money, it was about unity, compassion, and the belief that together they could create lasting change. However, the journey wasn't without challenges. As the foundation grew, so did scrutiny. Critics questioned whether the initiative was merely a PR move by Tesla, or if it would truly deliver results. Some accused Marcus of using the platform for personal gain, despite his insistence that he remained focused solely on helping others. Through it all, Marcus stayed grounded, remembering why he started this journey in the first place. He poured his energy into proving the skeptics wrong, working late nights and weekends to ensure the foundation delivered on its promises, and slowly the impact became undeniable. Families moved into newly renovated homes, students received scholarships to pursue higher education, unemployed individuals gained skills through vocational training programs. Each success story fueled Marcus's determination to keep pushing forward. And yet the most rewarding moments came unexpectedly, like the time a young girl approached him at a community event, clutching a drawing she'd made. "Thank you for helping my mom keep our house," she said shyly, handing him the picture. It depicted a smiling family standing in front of a cozy home, with the words "Hope" written across the top. That simple act of gratitude reminded Marcus of the ripple effect one kind gesture could have. What began as a single act of generosity from Elon Musk had blossomed into a movement capable of transforming lives far beyond the walls of the Gigafactory. But the story doesn't end here. There's still more to come, and the next chapter will leave you breathless. As the Tesla Community Empowerment Initiative (TCEI) continued to grow, Marcus found himself standing at the forefront of a movement that was bigger than he ever imagined. The foundation had already touched thousands of lives, but Marcus knew this was only the beginning. With each new success came fresh challenges and opportunities, pushing him to dream even bigger. One evening, as Marcus reviewed the latest impact report, his phone buzzed with an incoming message. It was from Elon Musk, who rarely reached out directly. Curious, Marcus opened the text. "Marcus, I think it's time we take this to the next level." His heart raced as he read the rest of the message. Elon proposed expanding the initiative globally, bringing its mission to Tesla factories and communities worldwide. The idea was ambitious, almost overwhelming, but Marcus couldn't help feeling excited. This wasn't just about helping more people. It was about proving that kindness and compassion could transcend borders and unite humanity. Over the following weeks, Marcus worked closely with Elon and a team of experts to develop a plan for global expansion. They identified key regions where the Foundation's resources could make the biggest difference, from underprivileged neighborhoods in Europe to remote villages in Africa. The goal was simple yet profound: to empower communities everywhere by addressing their unique needs and fostering self-sufficiency. The announcement of the global initiative drew widespread attention, generating both excitement and skepticism. Critics questioned whether such an ambitious project could succeed, while supporters rallied behind the cause, eager to contribute however they could. Through it all, Marcus remained steadfast, driven by the belief that change was possible when people came together with a shared purpose. But the road ahead wouldn't be easy. Challenges loomed on the horizon: logistical hurdles, cultural differences, and financial constraints threatened to derail the effort. Yet Marcus faced these obstacles head-on, drawing strength from the countless stories of hope and resilience he'd witnessed along the way. And then, just as things seemed to be falling into place, a twist emerged that no one saw coming. During a visit to one of the newly established community centers in South America, Marcus received news that shook him to his core. A former co-worker from the Gigafactory, someone he considered a close friend, had fallen on hard times again. Despite the Foundation's efforts, some struggles proved harder to overcome than others. This revelation forced Marcus to confront a difficult truth: no matter how much good they accomplished, there would always be more work to do. But rather than discouraging him, this realization fueled his resolve. If anything, it reminded him why the mission mattered so deeply: to ensure that no one ever felt alone or forgotten. As the story draws to a close, Marcus reflects on the journey that began with a single act of kindness, a $50,000 check from Elon Musk, that changed everything. From struggling to pay rent to leading a global initiative, his life had transformed in ways he never dreamed possible. And though the road ahead promised challenges, Marcus faced them with unwavering optimism. For those watching this story unfold, the question remains: what happens next? How will Marcus and the TCEI continue to shape the world, one community at a time? Stay tuned for part 2, where the stakes get higher, the challenges grow tougher, and the impact becomes even greater. If you enjoyed this story, hit the like button, and subscribe for more inspiring tales of courage, compassion, and transformation. Let us know in the comments what you think Marcus should do next, because in the end, every small act of kindness has the power to spark something extraordinary. Thank you for joining me today. Until next time.